Well, seeing as I'm not going anywhere tonight, what's inside my light painting bag? Oh, how good was that intro? But seriously though, how frustrating is it when a shoot is cancelled last minute? Oh god, it's the worst. Anyway, what is going on, guys? Shooting Dave here. So good to see your faces. Hope you're all having a great week so far. Now today we're going to do what is inside my light painting bag. See, enough of you guys on Instagram have asked me, so I figured let's take the plunge and do it together. Now, if you don't know what light painting is, have a little click up here. There's a whole playlist showing you how to photograph and edit your light painted photos. So yeah, check that out if you don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we're going to do what's inside my light painted bag. So I figured let's start with camera bag. Might as well get this one out of the way. I use a Lowepro 450 AW Tactic. Pro Tactic even. It's a great bag. I've had it for maybe about 3 or 4 years now and it's gone with me just about everywhere. It's really handy, consumes all of my gear which I like, including my laptop and the vlogging camera, and it fits on overhead storage in planes, which is phenomenal because you ain't checking my shit in. So yeah, great bag, recommend it. If you're looking for one, get one. There's a link in the description down below. So moving on, let's go with the boring stuff first. Now, support. What do you support your camera with? I have 3 options for this. Previously, I used to use the Manfrotto 055 X Pro B. It's an aluminium tripod. It is a beast. It is massive. It's very sturdy. I enjoy using it a lot. However, I have recently swapped over to using the Manfrotto B3, which you guys are sat on right now. I bought it primarily as a traveling tripod, but you know what, I really like it. It's really lightweight, it's nice and small, and I want to get my kit as small as possible. And yeah, it's a great tripod, so that's what you're sat on. I can't show you it, but yeah, great tripod, recommend it. And other than that, I also use a Manfrotto friction arm. So I did a whole video on where you can use it and how you can use that up here, so if you want to check that one out, then please do. But yeah, I actually used it recently to take this shot. It was on top of a ladder, so you know, a very tight situation, nowhere to put your camera or tripod. So yeah, use this friction arm so I could actually extend it out over the ladder and get the perfect angle. So pretty pleased with that, and yeah, it's rock solid as well, so your camera doesn't wobble around, and when it's like hanging off the ground you feel pretty safe holding it up there. So yeah, can't recommend one of those enough either. Moving on, so camera bodies. I use a Canon 5D Mark III. I've had this camera probably about 6 or 7 years now. It is a beast. It's seen its fair share of abuse. I really like it. I have to. It's the only camera I own. Now I know a lot of you are out there like, but there's much better cameras, and all your Sony users out there going, ha, your dynamics range sucks. You're right. But you see, I can't afford to go for a new camera yet, so this is the one I have. You'll note I've got the battery grip on the bottom. This is not needed for light painting. I just have it from the days when I used to shoot motorsport. It's much nicer to have the extended battery life rather than dropping a battery out of the camera constantly and having to put another one in. I just rather have it all in one. So yeah, that's why it looks like this, and that's the camera I use. So what do you put on cameras? Lenses. So I start with the Canon 50mm f1.4 USM lens. Now this is actually the first lens I ever bought when I had the Canon 50D. It has stayed with me this amount of time, and well, shows you how much I like it. It's a good lens. For light painting though, it's great for the car, not so great for the environment. You see, it makes the car look nice and big and heroic, but you're kind of narrow on the background. So if you've got a shitty background that you're working with, then yeah, 50mm is probably great. But if you've got a good background that you're working with, 50mm is probably not the best for you, which you probably want the next one, which is my 35mm f2 lens. This one allows you to get more of the environment in there without distorting the car. However, this is a 30-year-old lens. It's really old. I didn't know that, and you know what, it still holds up today. Okay, the autofocus is atrocious and it squeaks like a mouse when it's trying to focus, but when you get it in focus, sharp as you like. So yeah, I bought this for 50 quid off a friend of mine, so you could probably get one on Amazon or eBay for a similar price, and I can't really recommend it enough. But if you want something wider, then I recommend the Canon 24 f2.8 IS USM lens. That's what I'm filming myself on right now, and so I can't really show you, but it is a great lens. It allows you to get more of the environment in there, so especially if you're in a tight situation, you can actually get to see a lot more in that lens. So yeah, can't recommend that one enough, but I just can't show you because we're filming with it right now. Now, obviously, these aren't all the lenses that I own. These are just the ones that I've worked out that I like to use for light painting. I have a couple of other lenses, but you know, they're more specialist and not really suited for light painting. Now, I have a 24, 35 and a 50, so I should probably look at investing in something like a 24 to 70 or something like that, you know, something that allows me to a bit more range and just carrying one lens rather than three. But yeah, maybe I'll update to something like that when I move over to mirrorless, like the EOS R or something like that. That'll maybe the 15 to 35. Anyway, I'm waffling now. Moving on. All right, so tripods, cameras, lenses. What else? Well, let's go for the intervalometer. Now, if you watched my last video, I told you not to touch your camera, use an intervalometer. And some of you might have been like, well, what the hell is an intervalometer? And well, this is. So basically, you have a cord, one end, this plugs into your camera, and then you have a remote on the other end. I know, wired, right? But it's super useful. So you can actually set how long you want each frame to go on for, so you can set the shutter speed manually. I put my camera into bulb mode, and then I use this to control the shutter speed. So anything from a second to 2 hours if you need it. You can do it with that. You can also set how long the delay is. So like I mentioned when I was shooting up a ladder, as I walk up and down that ladder, it's going to shake around a load, so I needed to have a bit of a delay in order for it to stop shaking, and then I can start taking my frame. So I actually had a 25-second delay programmed into this, so I could get down the ladder, have it stop shaking, and then start photographing, because no one wants blurry images. Anyway, so if you do have an older camera like I do, I'd recommend one of these. Some of the newer users will probably have a smartphone app that works, and that is really the future, and that's what I'd recommend using. But if you have an old camera like me, then yeah, get one of these. Now into the juicy bit, the question I get asked the most. What light do I use? Well, I use one of these. This is the Camera Plus CP MTL2. It is an LED light. I think it has 298 LEDs in there. It is phenomenally bright, and I think it's also actually discontinued on Amazon. There is a replica of this called the MTL 900 Mark II, I do believe. I'll leave a link down below if you're looking to pick one up. However, if I did not have this light, I would be buying the Yongnuo YN360 Mark II. See, it's basically the same shape and form factor as the one I use. It is just as bright, has the same amount of LEDs, except for it has a few more creative options. You see, this one is either white or orange, so 5600 Kelvin or 3500 Kelvin. So those are my two options. However, the Yongnuo allows you to dial in any RGB color you want, so that is super useful and pretty handy. Now, I've got some ideas for what I'd like to use that light for, so maybe I'll pick one up in the future, but for now, I'm really happy with how this light performs. It's solid as a rock, it's made out of aluminium, it is durable. It's a bit battered now these days, but I've customized it with some black tape on the back to limit the amount of light spill out of there. I know some of you use barn doors, but I'm not really into barn doors. It just seems like an extra step for not much benefit, so yeah, black tape is fine for me. So that's the light I use. So that's what's inside my light painting bag. Hopefully you guys found it useful. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you've got anything different that you keep inside your bag, let me know down below. See, I really nerd out on reading what's inside people's camera bags. I love it. So yeah, if you've got anything that's different, let me know down below. Do subscribe if you haven't already. That really does mean a lot. And please do follow me on Instagram. And as always, I shall see you in the next one. See ya.